The Alteration School of Magic has two interesting spell effects in Morrowind. They are Burden and Feather. Burden temporarily increases the weight carried by an NPC or the player. This causes fatigue to be lost at a greater rate. When the effect ends, the added weight disappears. In Morrowind, the encumbrance value represents the total amount of weight you are currently carrying. This includes all items in your inventory, whether equipped or not. Carrying more than your maximum encumbrance will cause you to be unable to move. If the burden spell pushes the encumbrance level past its maximum value, the target becomes immobile. When playing Morrowind, you will encounter enemy spellcasters who use the burden spell on you. This causes you to be stuck in place while they attack you. You can also use burden spells on NPCs, but they're much less likely to be effective, because most NPCs in the game are not carrying anywhere near their maximum encumbrance. So it would take a very powerful burden spell to cause them to be unable to move for long enough to be of any use. Let's take a look at this spell in action.
Alright guys, I'm here at Balmora. It's a beautiful morning. I'm standing on a Silk Strider because it's a beautiful thing. And if I look at my spell list, I don't have a burden spell. Okay? Now, you can get the burden spell right here in Balmora. You can get the cheapest burden spell and you can get a most powerful burden spell in the game right here. Okay? So, let's get the most powerful burden spell first. Okay? Let's go to the House Lalu Manor and you meet a lady there. I think she's a lady. Yeah, this place, House Lalu, okay, Manor. You go there and you meet this lady, a high elf.
You have something to say to me?
Known as Imare. And then look at the spells, and she has a extremely strong burden spell. Extremely expensive, you spend a ton of money, okay? And you can get this, I mean, it's 60 to 80 points for 30 seconds, and which costs a lot of money. I would not recommend you to get the spell. Okay, I will show you a cheaper way of making a burden spell. So this is one way of getting a strong burden spell if you really need it, but it's not necessary. Okay. Alright, next let's go to the Mages Guild at Balmora and it's right here, and pick up the cheapest burden spell. Okay?
This is a wondrous encounter. Welcome.
Yeah, they all like me now because I'm doing stuff for them.
You're in good company, friend. Welcome.
Alright, so if you look at this, meet this lady, Esther Dallin, and she has a burden spell. It's a cheap spell. It costs 105 gold. Pick it up. Okay. Now, if you look at this, if you look at my spell list, I do have a burden spell. Okay. I can cast on any target. Who put it there? Nobody. Alright. Now I'll show you how to get a very strong burden spell by actually using the spell making feature. Okay. So let's select the effect here, burden. So this is a custom spell. I will say on target. I will make it extremely strong spell. Okay. The strongest, as strong as it can get. Okay. And I'll just say I want this spell effect to last for like 6 seconds. Okay. I don't care about area. Okay. So this is a strong burden spell for 6 seconds. And it is going to cost me 50 Magicka. Okay. Every time I cast it, it's going to cost me 50 Magicka. So I'll say burden X. Okay. 257 gold. So this is stronger than the one we saw at the Lalu Manor house. So you see, you can save a lot of money by making your own spells. Okay. Alright, let's go. Let's go and test it out. So in Morrowind, as per my observation, you know, you find a lot of NPCs using burden on you. And since you're a player, and we are used to collecting junk in the Elder Scrolls series games, we collect a lot of junk and our weight is always on the borderline. Their spells are very effective against us. But the issue here with Morrowind is that, you know, NPCs are not affected by the burden spell at all. Because,
This is too easy.
even my strongest burden spell did not increase his encuber in such a way that, you know, he's stuck. He's still moving, you know, even if I cast it again and again. His encumbrance is absolutely not high enough because he's not carrying much stuff. And most NPCs in Morrowind are not carrying as much as you. So this spell, I feel, is kind of useless. I would love to paralyze this guy and run away or whatever. And you see, I've already casted 5 times and he's still running around. What the hell, man? Essentially, burden is, unfortunately, not that useful at all. So here's a quick demo to showcase the burden. And my recommendation is not get it. The spell is spell and the spell effect is not implemented well in Morrowind. And I would say skip buying the spell. Okay?
Feather is the opposite of burden. This magic effect reduces the target's encumbrance, resulting in a slower loss of fatigue. This spell is meant to be used on yourself to lighten the load and is not meant to be targeted at NPCs. Let's take a look at this spell in action.
Alright guys, we are here again on top of Silstrider in the town of Balmora. Now, Feather. After playing Morrowind for 200 hours, I still don't have... I never got the spell. But it would be interesting for me to check it out. So, let's go pick up that spell, okay? You find the strongest feather spell in a strange location in Balmora. It's the South Wall Corners Club, okay? And that is this side. And this is the exact club, the location where you actually will go when you start the main quest, right? You'll come here and you'll find out about Caius Cosades. Exactly, the same place, South Wall Corner Club, okay? So once you go here, let's see.
Khajiit has no words for you.
You meet this strange Argonian. Not a lusty Argonian, strange Argonian.
This warm blood has questions.
Yes, I'm a warm-blooded creature. Okay. So here, he sells you the strongest feather spell for like a lot of money, 500 bucks, okay? Yeah, let's pick it up. 100 points, 10 seconds on self. Okay? You can also find a cheap feather spell.
You want some? If I can help.
At the Mage's Guild. So we'll go to the Mage's Guild. And meet Esther Dallin. And if you look at spells, she has a spell called Feather. Okay? You can pick it up. You can pick this up too. You can, once you get this spell, you can actually make a custom spell and say the effect as Feather on self. Let's say magnitude 100, duration, let's say 10 seconds. So this is going to cost you 55 points of Magicka, okay? So this is one option. There's no reason for you to make a target feather spell. I don't know. It'd be very funny. But let's make one just for the fun of it, okay? I mean, if you reduce an NPC's weight carrying capability, will the NPC run faster than you? We don't know. Let's try it out. Okay. Feather. Crazy. 400 bucks. I'm wasting 400 bucks on this, but well,
You're in good company.
For science, I guess. Alright. Now, let's go back to our favorite spot here on the Strider. And now I have a couple of feather spells, right? So I have this great feather. Let's use this, okay? If you look at my... I'm carrying a lot of junk. Well, yeah, a lot of junk, sure. But I've definitely carried a lot more junk in the past. And if you look at my weight carrying capacity, it's 365. That's because my strength is very high, you know. I kept putting points in strength as I leveled up, I guess, after intelligence and willpower 100. And I'm carrying 140 kgs or whatever worth of stuff. Okay, let's cast the feather spell. And if you see, it says feather for 8 seconds. And if you see, the carrying capacity has reduced dramatically. And will I move faster? I don't know. Yeah, definitely feels I'm flying faster. You do move faster if you're carrying less stuff, you know. But let's cast it once more. Great feather. Oh yeah. It's still active, both active. Yeah, slightly faster. Let's see, once it goes away. No, not much. Whatever. So the point is, you can reduce your carrying capacity in sticky situations when you're carrying a lot. And I guess it's a useful spell. I never felt the use for it. I would say, you know, keep it. What's the harm in, you know, not having it? Now let's go try this feather crazy spell and try to see if we can affect NPCs. Okay, let's go to our favorite NPCs, 2 dudes here on the mine, near the mine. And the only thing it might do is, you know, I mean, the speed may increase, you know, they may run faster, but that depends on the implementation. I don't know if Morrowind is implemented that way. Alright, feather crazy. Oh, he's not angry. Okay.
What is this about, Breton?
He's not angry. Well, we have no idea to find out if his carrying capacity has reduced. I'm sure internally it's happened, but yeah, essentially it's useless. You know, you're achieving nothing. So, feather spell, I would say skip it. Don't buy it. You may use it in a pinch, I guess, but I've never felt the use for it. Maybe at the beginning, at the start game, maybe it could be useful, especially when you're playing as a mage. You know, your strength is like, you keep putting points in intelligence and willpower. You hardly put points in strength, so your carrying capacity is so low at that time. Maybe it could be useful then, you know. But as you become stronger, it's nothing, right? You don't carry stuff. You don't carry a lot of potions. You don't carry a lot of ingredients. You stop using alchemy. That's what I did. It happened to me. Like, I used to carry a ton of ingredients, and it used to weigh me down. I guess feather is useful at the start game and at the mid game, but once you're powerful like me, like this, with high points in strength and speed, it doesn't matter. So feather, that was feather for you. So I would love to read your thoughts on the spell and even burden.
That was a discussion on 2 interesting alteration spells, Burden and Feather. I believe these spells added some interesting spell variety when playing Morrowind, and I missed them in Skyrim. I absolutely dreaded NPC spellcasters casting Burden on you, especially when you are a weak mage at the start. I thought Burden added variety to the arsenal of NPC spells and made things unpredictable. Feather is a useful spell and definitely is worth considering. Overall, my spell score for Burden would be 3 out of 10 and Feather would be 5 out of 10. Let me know what you think about Burden and Feather. Would you like to see them make a comeback in the Elder Scrolls 6? Until next time, may the Divines watch over you.